So, good morning, good afternoon in Norway, very early morning in Washington on Tuesday, August the 18th, 2026. And here we are with our most often weekly Book-Klatch authors talk. And we are thrilled to meet and introduce and learn about our actual newest author to join the Clutch, and that is Carole Barton. I'm here, Leslie Barker in Missouri. Thomas Freitag is in Norway, and Carole is in Washington
Mhm.
State. So I'm going to pass this on to Thomas, and thank you so much for being here, Carole.
Thank you for having me.
Carol, welcome. Uh, so here we are. I'm going. I have to turn off my so I don't see me. Sorry, I get
Okay. Well,
distracted.
it was very nice seeing
Cool.
you.
So, um, you are. How did you hear about Book Clutch, Carol?
Okay. So I have a friend of mine that I made when my husband and I went back to Gold Creek Community Church and we met Susan York. And Susan York invited me,
Gotcha.
who is a
Wonderful.
member of Book-Klatch. And she
Yes.
knows
Wonderful.
about my books.
Yeah,
Great.
she was we interviewed her recently. If you go to the book-klatch.com website and go to the author section, you can run down the list of all of our 18 authors and
I saw
growing
that.
and find Susan's name because it's alphabetized close to the bottom of the list. Click on her name, you can get to her books.
Okay. That'll be
Who
great.
is Carol Barton?
Well, I go by Carol G. Barton because there's so many Carol Ann Bartons in the United States alone. So I go by Carol G. My maiden name is the G. But I was a former speech therapist in schools, in public schools, and I just retired from that. I have been a Christian since I was 8 years old.
All right.
Thanks so much to my wonderful family for that. Um, and let's see, what else have I? Oh, and I have been writing for probably over 20 years, but I have done a lot of that writing just for myself because I didn't think
Yeah.
anybody would ever be interested in what I had to write.
Yeah. So how did you find out that you should share the wealth of your writing with others?
It was a real God moment. I had a children's book author that came to our school, that came to one of my elementary schools I worked at, Sunnyside Elementary. Go Sunnyside Lions. and and anyway, I watched her. Her name is Trisha B. Perez. I watched her give her book talk, and I thought it was so interesting. She did such an amazing job. And I'm a very shy person that I was at the back of the room and I waited until all of the students left. I didn't have another student to see after that. I waited and I talked with her and we talked and she said, "When you're ready, here's my card."
Oh,
And
wow.
then I found out that she was a Christian. And yes,
Wonderful.
and so we have become really great friends. She used to live in Mukilteo. Now she and her family live in Florida. And so we
Okay.
do Zoom calls.
Huh. So, Carol, what were you writing for those 20 years?
I was writing a book that okay, so my uncle was a great storyteller, and we he would just make up stories to be like, okay, well, it's time to get ready for bed, all this. You guys get ready for bed, and then I'll tell you a story. And so he would just make up stories. And I was just like, this is just an amazing skill. And as I grew, I wanted to have that type of skill of like,
Hmm.
I want to be a storyteller. And
Wonderful.
and with the help of Trisha B. Perez, editing and publishing, and her son is my illustrator. That's
Huh.
another good story if we have
Yeah.
time. But anyway, the thing was that she became my editor and publisher. So I'm a hybrid. I'm not a traditional nor independent. I'm in between.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole other world out there these
It
days. The
is.
publishing world. Yeah.
It is.
So, okay. So you live in Washington State. Have you lived
Yes.
there your whole life?
No, I'm originally from, this is another God story. I'm originally from Kentucky, a small town called, that's probably not that small anymore, Franklin, Kentucky, which bordered like 30 minutes probably from Nashville, Tennessee. And
Okay.
I lived there. And so I grew up there. And I actually visited Missouri, Leslie. I actually got to
Okay.
visit there on a band trip once. But let's see. I lived in Kentucky. I went to Western Kentucky University to school to become a speech therapist. And then I moved for my first job in Savannah, Georgia. And in
Okay.
Savannah, Georgia, I met my husband in church, and he is from Marlow, England, originally.
He's from England.
He's from Marlow, England. Yes, probably closer to London. I don't know how many minutes or whatever away from London.
And what is his name?
His name is Stephen.
Stephen. So, okay. I just need to know, how did Stephen get from near London to Georgia?
That's another good story. Do we have time for all these stories?
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
you
Okay,
choose.
just want to make sure. Okay, so he had come over as an exchange student, loved the United States, went
Hmm.
back to England, went to Reading University, became an engineer. And then after he had his degree, he came back to the United States and he went from state to state. He's traveled a lot more than I have, state to state, trying to find a job in engineering. And he
Hmm.
did find a job in engineering in Georgia. And so we
All
were in
right.
church when we met.
That's awesome.
Okay. So Georgia, and then how did you get to Washington State? Or what's between that and Washington State?
Okay, so he got a job with Boeing,
Oh,
Oh,
my son
and
worked for
Boeing moved,
Boeing.
yeah.
moved us to Washington State.
My son worked for
Fantastic.
Boeing for quite a while.
Uh,
Interesting.
yeah. Okay. So you live in the Seattle area?
Well, I'm not really in Seattle. It's Marysville, Washington. And so it's further away.
Okay.
So 20, 30, I don't know how many minutes. I don't really go in that direction. I'm like,
Hmm.
Marysville is a small town, and I like that about it.
Yeah,
Hmm. Very
I
good.
have the same small town feel that I grew up with.
right.
Hmm. Great.
Not
Right.
always
So
the same weather.
Right.
I'm still intrigued by, I still want to know, well, like, what kind of stories were you writing for 20 years that were hidden, these hidden stories? What
So
kind of stories?
basically, it was the first book that I have that I'll show you in a few minutes. It was basically that storyline type thing, but then I had a few people, friends that read it, and they were like, you need to make this a lot shorter, kind of thing. And so then I tried to make a children's picture book, and I tried to go really short. I'm like, I don't know how they do it. Congratulations to all the children's picture book writers out there because it is really hard to do that.
I
Yeah.
can imagine.
It's
Uh,
really hard. So basically, I turned it back into a children's chapter book.
huh. Do you have a copy of that book with you?
I do. Well, as a matter of fact,
As a
I
matter of
do.
So
one of you should ask.
it is now finished. It's no longer hidden, Thomas.
It's no longer
Wonderful.
hidden. And
Uh,
it's no longer one book, it's two.
Well,
Fantastic.
tell us before you even show us, tell us about the main character.
The main character is a mouse. It's a talkative mouse because, again, remember, I'm a speech therapist, a retired speech therapist, but I'm a speech therapist that has a lot of big feelings, difficulty controlling that. So he wears a backpack, not this size, of course, but he wears a backpack with fidget tools inside, and such as a weighted blanket,
Oh, yeah.
a staking stone, which I have right here. I don't know if you can
Okay.
see it. And it's rough on one side, smooth on the other. So when he has big feelings, he gets it out of his backpack and he feels this, and he thinks about what he's going to do.
Oh, that's cool.
And so when Bruno
Hmm.
starts off, and oh, I should say, when Bruno starts off in the book, it's also for kids that want to travel to faraway places that maybe they have never gotten a chance to do that, or maybe they have gone there and they want to go there again. But you don't have to have an airplane ticket. You don't have to have a passport. You just open the book and you're there. And so the first book
Wonderful.
is in Somerset, England, which I have traveled to with my husband. And then Llandudno, Wales is the second book. And I'm working on the outline for the third book, which will also take place in a real location.
Wonderful. So Carol, so tell us, what are the themes in the book that you're trying to convey to the children?
That's right. Okay. So kindness is probably one of my biggest themes that I have. I want people, especially children and also families, to take away from it that kindness travels everywhere you go. You
Hmm.
can have a kind heart, you can have a kind smile, you can go through all of this growth mindset. Just because you can't do it right now doesn't mean you
Hmm.
won't be able to do it.
That's
But
wonderful.
teacher mindset. And then
Hmm.
also inclusion, including everybody. And
Hmm.
Bruno has some difficulties to get through. Like I said, he has his weighted blanket and he has different things in his backpack to help him. But in the first book, it's about a mouse, but also an adult male that they come in contact with each other, but they both have difficulty in the world, but they
Hmm.
both have something to offer the world.
Right.
Hmm.
And there are a lot of other people that come in contact. Problem solving and teamwork. Teamwork
That's
is
awesome.
so important, not excluding somebody
Hmm.
because of something they can't do.
Briefly, Carol, can you just explain the purpose of a weighted blanket?
Sure. A weighted blanket is just giving you, and I'm sorry, this dropped over here. A weighted blanket is just giving you an extra like hug type of feel for a
Hmm.
student or for an adult that just needs, okay, I need to just calm down. I just need to relax. Maybe not calm
Hmm.
down, but relax and feel like I can solve this problem. I can do
Hmm.
this.
Hmm. And how about the stone that you showed us?
The
What?
thinking stone is basically if you go to your local pet store, you can find this in the fish tank area. So I came up with this idea. Also, I don't have it on, but I actually um, came up with the idea of a circle pointer. And the circle pointer is actually broken, but the circle pointer is what Bruno uses to show him the direction he needs to go. So the
Hmm.
reader gets to find out. It's a compass, but the reader gets to find out all of these things as they
Yeah.
go
Okay.
through it.
Now you've hidden the book. You've talked about the book. You've hidden it. Let's bring it out to the
Okay,
audience here. Let's see
so
this.
this is the first book.
All
This is
right.
Bruno, and he is in a cave,
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah.
and
Okay.
it's a scuba suit.
Okay.
And this is a real cave that exists. And I have it right here. This real cave that exists takes place in Wookiee Hole. This is just a pamphlet that I got when I was there
Okay.
of different things. That's something that gave me an idea. When an author, I believe, in my opinion, when an author travels or talking with people along the way, along the route which you take with your circle pointer, you come up with all kinds of great ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is Bruno's. And oh, I forgot to tell you, in Wookiee Hole, which the action really takes place in Wookiee Hole, um, there's cheese. There's a room of cheese, cave aged cheese.
Oh, wow. Well, that would absolutely attract a mouse.
Yes. And it's called Wookie Whole um, cheddar cheese, Wookie Whole cheddar cheese. And it's
Did
his
you bring
Okay.
us
favorite.
some? I love cheddar.
Bruno loves cheddar
Miss
cheese.
Cheddar.
Yes.
Ah,
We can
So you
hardly
can
get
find
cheddar
some of
here.
it at stores in the US, but you can find it in any grocery store you go to in England. It's famous around the world. So I don't know if it's in Norway.
Wookie whole
I
cheddar
probably have to
cheese.
sell my car to buy it. So,
It's not that expensive, really.
so Wookie Hole is a real place in England.
It is. It is.
Okay.
And when I've gone there, I really enjoyed that. We've probably gone there over 5 times, at least 5 times for sure. And
Hmm.
so the last time we were there, um, our tour guide, which I had already written and already had that tour guide in there, um, had said his name was Bill. And that happens to be the name that I wanted my tour guide to have.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And it
In
just
the
happened. So it was just like, thank you, God. Okay, just keep
hmm.
coming.
Hey,
But
Carol,
all these
open up
little
the
stuff.
book and show us one or two of the illustrations, just so we can get
Oh,
a
yes.
taste.
Okay. Oh, if I can find it, I want to show you my favorite illustration. There's not a lot of illustrations because I also came up with the idea of writing a children's chapter. This particular one, I wrote it first, and then I went back and used a thesaurus because
Uh-huh.
there are
Hmm.
a lot of struggling readers out there
Yes.
Hmm.
and or kids that are reading but they're young and they need to have a G-rated book. This is G-rated. I have dad
Wonderful.
jokes in there but nothing adult humor whatsoever.
So
Excellent.
what age group are you
I would
or
say like
age
second
group and what reading level?
second to fifth grade.
Okay.
But I've had kids that I know that have taken it on to middle school with them.
Yeah.
And one student that I really love, she actually carried it around in her backpack
Oh, that's
as
good.
she was
Oh,
going off to middle school because it was like, yes, this just made her feel content and like there was someone there for her. Oh, the one that I'm having difficulty finding. I'm so sorry.
It's all
no
right.
worries. We're not going anywhere.
Okay, did you have another question while I'm looking?
Well, yeah, I'd like you touched on the fact that it's a real challenge to write children's literature. Can you expound on that? What makes it challenging?
Like a
I
uh children's illustrated book. I should one of those
Yeah.
as
children's
opposed
chapter
to
book.
yeah.
Hmm.
Chapter book. I think because I believe that Andre only has 8 illustrations in each of the books. I believe that is correct. And when you have that amount, then you have to be able to get the reader convinced into continuing. This is inside Wookie Hole,
No fun.
Okay.
and you're
Yeah.
meeting yet another character by the name of Ava.
And who's Ava?
Ava is the bat.
Oh,
and
fun.
she always gets lost wherever she goes, unlike other bats that have a built-in GPS. See, I did my research. But because I get lost everywhere I go, I put in that Ava does. So I put in a lot of my characteristics in the book.
Sure. Sure.
Wonderful.
So
Um,
Tom's question about why is it difficult to write a children's
Oh yes,
story?
i i, I
I was
think. Oh, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
was going to ask you if you think it's because we have to, it's, there are so few words that have to convey the whole story.
Exactly, and keeping the
hmm.
child's interest, plus also, is this something um, that will like unfold along the way? And so
Right.
Hmm.
my book, because sorry, I'm saying it again, I'm a retired speech therapist. I have a lot of predicting. What do you think is going to happen? So this makes a great read aloud book. I
Yeah,
did have one
Fantastic.
other. Can I show you one other picture?
sure.
Please.
This is, and I have to let me see to make sure that you can see it.
Okay. It's
It's
like a
Bruno,
guy.
Bruno talking into the ear of Lady, another
Oh, it's an
character.
ear. Okay, that makes
That's an
total
ear.
sense. Very
That's
cool.
fair because you can see the animals in the book, but you don't get to see the people because basically it's your imagination that you come up with the idea of who the person is.
Uh, uh, huh.
Yeah.
So the
Interesting.
animals are the main characters, and the humans are the supporting
I
Hmm.
characters.
love that. And
Charles
so,
Schultz never showed adults in his cartoons when he made Charlie Brown and the
Right,
Peanuts.
right.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love Charlie Brown. I love Snoopy. But I
right.
love the idea of, you use that creativity of like, um, and I've described Lady as this wonderful, she's a retired teacher. Oh, I wonder where I got that. She's a retired teacher. That was way before I retired. But
Hmm.
she's a retired teacher and she loves to help with reading and things like that. And I was a struggling reader as a child, and my
Oh,
mother helped me
Yeah.
huh,
as a child.
huh.
And so I dedicated this book to my mom.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. I've, we're receiving information from the school systems, not only in the United States, but in England and other parts where children are becoming almost illiterate because of these things and
Mm-hmm.
because of AI. And so, how do you think we can challenge children to continue reading or to find the joy of reading? How can we do that?
Well, I have two parts for that question. Okay, can I do my second part first?
Sure.
At Sunnyside Elementary, my school that I told you about, and I worked at 8 schools in the district that I was in, and I'm going back to substitute this fall,
Oh,
hopefully,
wow.
hopefully for only kindergarten, first, second, and third grade, and library.
That sounds good. Yes, you don't need to be eaten alive as a sub. Yes, I
No,
understand this.
Smart
but
woman.
But we actually had a student come up with the idea of having what's called an everybody's club, and the everybody's club actually had it met during the day on once a month on a Friday, which we would get out early on Fridays. And we meet on Friday, one day a week, and children could pick from different clubs to join. And those clubs were from volunteers in the area, plus teachers would volunteer to do this. And my group was called Authors and Illustrators. So
Oh,
I
that's awesome.
actually was there to inspire authors and illustrators of the future. Yes, of the
I
future.
wonder if we could add that kind of component to the Book-Klatch, a kids' clutch. I
Hmm.
would love
Hmm.
that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That
That
would
would
be
be
really cool.
so much fun.
I don't know how many children books we have, but one I invited yet another author to hopefully join us that is also a
That's,
children's chapter book author.
Yeah, I
so
have children.
what's the first part of your answer?
Oh, there
You
you
said
go.
you'd give the second
Okay.
part.
Okay. I think going back to the love of reading is actually like when I walk into a library now, a school library, a public library, whatever, I look at all of those books and think of the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that went in
Hmm.
every single book. And
Hmm.
that's what it is. It takes a long time to write a book.
Really
It's
does.
a
It
long
really
time.
does.
It's you. It's basically you. And so understanding that love of reading is
Hmm.
actually okay. We all have emotions. We all have good days. We have bad days. But find a book that is what I always call the just right book. Find a book that interests you and go
Hmm.
after it. Whether it's whether it's too young a reader or not, hard or anything like that, but find something that is exciting for you. And I wanted to
Hmm.
make mine adventure stories.
Fantastic. Leslie, do you have any questions or anything to add at this point?
Well, I'm thrilled with your perspective, Carol, and
Thank you.
Hmm.
I've written quite a few chapter books for kids. the Kentucky Faith and Public History Project series that went along with
Leslie
that.
also has a connection to Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah. We
I love-
talked about that on Saturday, actually.
Oh.
Carole was one of our people at the author check-in. But we have there are three of us that are so far in the clutch that are occasionally writing for children. You write exclusively for children. Christine, that we interviewed a couple weeks ago, writes for young adult readers. I write
Mm.
across the genres, and quite a few of my books have been for kids. So, and then I've got some other ones that I've just not transferred into published status yet. Um, but I love this Find the Just Right book that is exciting for you. And
Mhm.
Mm.
I think that to speak to Thomas's how do you get children interested in reading, I think the parents have to read. And
Yeah.
failing the example in the home, it's useful. Teachers can very much bring a book into the classroom and read aloud, and that
Mm.
triggers an interest. When I was fourth grade, I was growing up in New York City, and there was a public radio show that came on at 4 o'clock every afternoon. And for half an hour, they read books out loud.
Mhm.
And the first book that I would run home from school because I didn't want to miss it was Willy Wonka, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Oh,
Factory.
wonderful.
Wow.
And I could not miss it. I had to, and I had just been given the radio, I think, for Christmas.
Mhm.
But just that exposure to the long form stories
Mhm.
Mm.
is what helps. I mean, the research is huge that children who are read to will comprehend better in when
Mm.
they are reading for themselves.
Mhm.
Just to
Mm.
put that expectation. You carry a book in your pocket. Um, and of course, there will be people who don't read and don't want to read and can't make the mind movies. But I really think exposure is the key.
Mhm.
Is the
Yes.
key.
I so agree.
Mm.
And I also, um, I know of some teachers that have actually done read alouds for both my books, but this one is so you stop along the way. I've seen so many teachers that have had little post-it type. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen next?
Exactly.
Ooh, and I actually, it was so wonderful. I actually went to a classroom to read the final chapter of this book
Oh,
to a
how fun.
class, and they were just like, the author's reading. And it
That
was
is
How
so
so
fun.
fun.
good.
Yeah.
But that whole thing, yes, stop, that make a prediction and that'll
Mhm.
keep them interested. Or what's your mind movie?
Right.
And
Hmm.
Mm.
ask those kind of questions so that you stop and you check their understanding. And you can
Mm.
learn an awful lot about kids from the way they respond to a book that you're reading
Mm.
aloud.
So
Mm.
I also had something I wanted to add. I don't know if this is going to be one of your questions, but on the spine of my books, there are flags.
Oh, love that.
And
Oh,
so you
interesting.
And so you have the friendship adventure is story number one, but it's not listed like a number one. And there's a reason for that. And then, so it's got the British flag, as you can see, and the Wales flag is on number two.
Cool.
But the thing
Huh.
is that I so many different times you'll go to the library or you'll go to the school library, whatever, and a child can't find the book in the right order. Well, guess what?
Mm.
You can read mine. Doesn't matter which one you read first.
That's wonderful.
So
Well,
that
think
way,
how many sequels you can write with all the flags in the
exactly.
world.
Exactly. So that's why I'm outlining book three. But I feel like that as soon as a child goes and sees my books, they're already learning. Well, what does
Yeah.
that mean? What
Yeah,
is
Uh,
that? What
exactly.
flag is that? I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, I
And so
love
I
that.
try to use a lot of different foods that come from that particular country, a lot of different things that you can see because I have been to both of the places. So a lot of
Mm.
different things that you can actually see and go and do for real kind of thing. So it's realistic fiction.
I do think
Oh,
that my
wonderful.
little granddaughter is going to get some copies of these books for her birthday.
Oh, thank you.
She's
And I
just
hope
Mm.
that they can
starting.
go into school libraries. I have, they're already at, I don't know if you know this site, but I want to let you guys know www.worldcat.org is
Hmm.
also the location where libraries look for books. And both my books are on the
Yeah, I
Good,
know about
good.
WorldCat, but I
www.worldcat.org.
Yeah.
And it's for the
okay.
world.
Well, we're gonna have to explore that. I think that um, we need to talk about a kids' clutch too. We take
Mm,
that club. I did a
mm,
poetry writing club when I was teaching school in the elementary
mm.
schools. Um, so
Can I
there,
tell you a little bit about Red?
yes.
My
Sure.
second book. Red the Dragon comes along, and there's Bruno again. He's gotten famous. I won't tell how he's gotten famous from the first book. Okay, he's gotten famous. And so they go on vacation, but they don't know where to go.
Oh
And
Mm.
no.
so Bruno hears this story about a dragon, and this dragon is fierce. And it has all this legend behind the dragon, which is actually on the flag. I was
Sure.
actually in
Right.
Canada, and I saw the flag, and I came up with this in my head. Did a lot of research
Yes.
too. But anyway, it's also to treat, so red is in the background and he goes all the way onto the back.
Oh,
Oh, fun.
So red the dragon is somebody, is he really fierce or has he misunderstood? And should we treat everyone the way we want to be treated?
that's so good.
Wonderful.
So
Well,
good.
Carol, if your books um, and capture the exuberance and the joie de vivre that you have, I'm sure that you are going to get a lot of kids hooked on reading.
Oh,
That
So
is so
thank
good.
you so much. I really hope because my mom, as I said, my mom really got me hooked on reading. And I did want to say that Bread the Dragon, I dedicated to my dad
Oh, I
oh,
love it.
because
Love
my
it.
beautiful.
dad would always talk to our cat and stuff, and it would be like, "Ha, okay, got that idea."
There you go.
But they're both under the name Bruno's Friendship Chronicles. That's
Nice.
where you'll find them
Great,
on Amazon.
great.
And you'll
Well,
find them on Carol's.
you're just gonna have to come to Norway and do a book from here.
Oh, that would be so fun. Do you know, I have actually done book assemblies and I absolutely love the feel of listening to all of the kids and the kids' energy and everything. And
Mm,
so I am not opposed to doing a Zoom at any school, any public school, or
mm.
any school anywhere.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
I would love to
Carol,
do.
this has been a real pleasure to get
Thank
to
you.
know both you and your books. And we
Thank
welcome
you.
you to Book-Klatch.
Thank you so
We look
much.
forward to journeying with you over time. And we pray the Lord's blessings on you and on your writing and on your future endeavors. So thank you
Thank you.
so much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so now here's what's next is I'm going to post the recording of this to your author page and then to our Book Clutch Facebook page. So in
Okay.
order to do that, I'm going to turn off the recording now, and then we can spend a few more minutes just chit-chatting. But thank you so much for coming, Carol and Thomas, for handling the main interview. So
Mm.
here we're going to stop this thing
Bye
now.
for now.